Get it on.
Everything does.
Okay, good morning.
We don't care.
Let the sheriff get seated. Made a grand entrance. Good morning, everyone. Welcome to this July 28th work session. We'll call to order at this time the Planning Commission, but would we have Mr. Slade, if you don't mind, doing the invocation for us, please?
Let's go for prayer. Father, thank you for another day that you give to us so that we might come and serve our fellow man. Thank you, God, for those who you especially equipped for the place of service that you've given them. Thank you for this government, Father, that you've established. We pray that you would continue to preserve and protect it. Lord, I pray for these men to be given wisdom that they can use today to make good and wise decisions on behalf of all citizens of the county. Lord, we pray for our first responders and how they protect us. Thank you for them. Bring them home safely. In Christ's name, amen.
And may I just remind everyone to make sure your phones are on silent so it won't be an embarrassing moment. All right, first on Planning Commission, old business.
The first item under old business is a conditional use permit on McIntyre Lane for Marshall Morrow.
Go ahead, I'll come back to it. Go ahead.
Okay, the property is located on the north side of McIntyre Lane. Mr. Morrow is seeking the conditional use permit to place a 1990 16 by 80 manufactured home on this property. It's a 1 acre parcel. It's zoned RE1. This is an aerial view of the property. It shows an existing home on the property. That house is no longer there. This is his site plan showing the placement of the manufactured home. And this is just a street view coming in on McIntyre. This is the location and shows the placement of where the mobile home will be going on that property. These are adjoining properties. That property was posted and the notice of the hearing was published in the paper. We haven't received any calls. Next under old business is a conditional use permit for Christina Milborn. These are just a review too, I forgot to say that. These are a review of hearings that are scheduled for the public for Monday, the board meeting on August 1st. The next item is a conditional use permit for Christina Milborn at 159 Hickory Ridge Road. That property is located on the east side of Hickory Ridge at the intersection of Long Drive and Hickory Ridge Road. This is a 1.11 acre parcel. It's zoned RE1A. Ms. Milborn is seeking the conditional use permit to operate a rescue facility called Central Mississippi Turtle Rescue. It's for injured, sick, abused, or neglected turtles. She has a permit from the Mississippi Department of Wildlife, Fisheries, and Parks for the rehabilitation and possession of native turtles. And in her application, she stated that the facility would never be open to the public. There would be no noise, smell, or traffic generated by the facility. And if she's approved for this, she hopes to incorporate it as a 501c3 nonprofit organization. She also had a signed statement from her neighbors that saying that they are not opposed to this use. This is an aerial view of the property. You can see her existing home on that property. This is her site plan. She shows several accessory buildings here that she uses for this business, and then she has an outdoor area where she has pens and tanks. Her parents live next door in this house. This is a view of that property from Long Drive. You can see the accessory buildings there. They're used in connection with this business. This is her parents' home, and these are surrounding properties. The property was posted and the notice was published in the paper, and we've not received any calls on this application either. The last item under old business is a conditional use permit for Leotha Rogers at 450 Melody Lane. The property is located on the north side of Melody Lane. This is a 5 acre parcel that's zoned RE1A. The aerial view shows there's an existing home already on this property, but Mrs. Rogers is seeking the conditional use permit to place a 2016 16 by 72 manufactured home here. It would be the second dwelling if it's approved, and the home is for her grandson. This is her site plan. The area shown in red is the location for the new mobile home. This is a view of that property, the driveway coming in. That's where the mobile home will be placed. And then these are surrounding properties. This little house is the other home that's on the 5-acre piece that she owns. This property was posted in the notice published, and we've not received any calls on it either.
Okay. Let me back up. I felt I need a motion approval of minutes.
So moved.
Second.
Motion approved by Mr. Gaines, second Mr. Morrow. Any discussion? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Okay. Now, new considerations.
Okay, the first item under new considerations is a conditional use permit for Betty McGee Langdon at 198 McGee Lane. McGee Lane is off of Highway 469, and this property is at the end of McGee Lane. It's a 66-acre parcel of family land. It's zoned RE1A. Ms. Langdon is seeking the conditional use permit to place a manufactured home there. She doesn't know the size or model. She wants to make sure that she's approved before she purchases anything. This is an aerial view of the property. There are 6 other homes on the 66 acres. Hers would be the 7th dwelling. This is a view of the property and where she plans to place the manufactured home. And these are surrounding properties.
I'll make a motion to set the public hearing.
Second.
Motion by myself, second Mr. Gaines. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed?
Next is a conditional use permit for Ranjit Dalawal. It's at Highway 25 at Pisgah Road. The property is located on the southwest corner of Pisgah Road at Highway 25. This is a 4.22 acre parcel that's zoned C2. He's seeking the conditional use permit to construct a 4,500 square foot convenience store. He plans to sell hot food, gas, and diesel fuel. This is an aerial of that property. This is a preliminary drawing. He shows the placement of the store on the property here. He's also requesting approval to place a modular building somewhere at the back to be used for an office building and for stock. He shows the gas pumps out front. And the property is going to be accessed from Pisgah Road. There is no access off of 25. It'll come on Pisgah Road. This is just a view of something similar, a modular building, something similar to what he would want to place there behind the store for the office use. And then this is a view of the intersection from Pisgah Road and 25. This is the property that he plans to build the convenience store on the southwest corner. This is a view of the northwest corner of Pisgah Road. And then these dwellings are located on the north side of Pisgah Road. This is a view of the new Dollar General store that's across Highway 25 on the east side of 25 in Pisgah Road. Mr. Dalawal is here if y'all have any questions for him today.
Yeah, I'd make a motion to set that public hearing.
Okay. Motion to set the public hearing by Mr. Cross.
Second.
Second Mr. Gaines. Any discussion? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed?
Okay, the next is a conditional use permit for Joe Ellingberg at 2496 Highway 471. This property is located on the north side of Highway 470, on the east side of Highway 471. It is a .26 acre parcel that's zoned C2. This is an aerial view. This is the best picture that we're going to have probably for you to see this building. This is the mill out on 471, and this building is located directly behind the mill. That property adjoins Bay Point subdivision on the south side. He's requesting the conditional use permit to operate a body shop in this existing building. It was previously used as a body shop in the past, but that business has been closed for approximately 10 years. The most recent use of the building was for a cabinet shop. This is a view of the mill, the cabinet and door business. This, like I said, his building is directly behind this building. You can't see it in our picture. And then this is a view of the rest of the property there where these buildings are located. Mr. Ellingberg is here today if you have any questions for him.
I make a motion to set that hearing as well.
Second.
Motion sets the public hearing, Mr. Cross, second Mr. Morrow. Any discussion? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed?
Okay, the last item under new business is a dimensional variance request for Sunny Betty at 105 Jack's Place. This property is located on the southwest side of Old Fannin at Jack's Place. This is a .65 acre parcel. It's zone C2. Mr. Betty is requesting a dimensional variance to reduce the west side setback from 15 feet to 10 feet. This is his preliminary site plan. He was approved June 13th for a conditional use permit to construct a 2,715 square foot convenience store. Now he is wanting to increase the size of the building to 3,200 square feet to allow more room for storage, a kitchen area, and possibly a Baskin-Robbins ice cream shop. The convenience store is going to be placed at the back. This is the setback where he's requesting the dimensional variance. 15 feet is required, and he's asking for a 5-foot variance there. This is a view of that property from Old Fannin. This is from the Jack's Place side. This is an office building west of that property. This is the entrance into Jack's Place. And then this is the vacant lot in front of Southern Rock. This is a street view. And then these are surrounding properties. Mr. Betty may be here if you have any questions. Yes, he is here.
Make a motion to set that public hearing.
All right, motion set the public hearing, Mr. Cross,
Second.
second Mr. Gaines. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed? All right, site plan architecture review.
All right, the first item under site plan architectural review is for Fannin Lanes at 1145 Old Fannin Road. This property is located on the east side of Old Fannin Road. This is a 2.93 acre parcel. It's zone C2. This is the location of the bowling alley, Fannin Lanes. This is one of the property that has recently been granted resort status by the state. They're planning to renovate their existing bar area and add an outside patio. This is just a little site plan showing the area of work. This is their floor plan. The drawing on the upper left shows the existing floor plan. The lower right shows the new floor plan. They're just proposing to kind of shift the bar area over to the right. They're going to extend this wall slightly. They're going to rework the storefront here and add an entrance and an exit. They're also going to rework or replace the storefront here with a vertical garage door with vision panels. This shows the seating area for the outside patio. They have an entrance here with a gate into the patio area. The Reservoir Fire Department has reviewed these plans, and they've asked also to add an entrance here with a gate to the patio area as well. This is a view of the bowling alley. This shows the area where the work will be done. And this is just a color rendering showing the patio railing, the landscaping. They're going to have an awning, and that's the color of the awning. These are surrounding properties. And Marty Barnes, I believe, is supposed to be here. Yes, if you have any questions today of him.
Yeah. On the question I wanted to ask, Mr. Barnes, was the operating hours of this is what? What time does it normally close? Is it?
I don't know, it varies, and I don't know. The owners couldn't be here today, Randy and John Christopher.
Right.
But it would probably be about, and I'm speculating, about the same as the bowling alley, which is different for every day of the week.
Right. Okay. And this outside drawings, it's not a place for entertainment on the outside, just chairs, seating, stuff like that.
That's correct.
Just want to
Just
be sure we
tables
didn't
and
have a
chairs.
live band or anything outside set up on that. Just set up for eating, casual, hanging around, or
I do not know.
you don't know. That would be my only question. I just want to be sure that we don't do a lot of outside entertainment, noise level wise. You know.
Okay, I can make sure that they know that they're not approved for that.
Yeah, that would be my stipulations. And then, I know the fire guys had mentioned something about an exit and stuff on the fence
Mhm.
on that same side.
Yeah, she talked about that.
I just want to be sure that's not a place where we can. I'd like the traffic to go through the bowling alley, really, than just come in and out through the gate to the parking lot.
Right.
You know, as far as just, I don't know how we want to set that on the fence. Whether it's a one-way access type thing, but I mean, I don't know if that's even possible. But I guess my fear is people coming in and out of the parking lot just straight to that dining area or hangout area, from access of taking alcohol out of there into their vehicles from that same point. That's my only concerns on that.
Okay. Not sure if Mr. Barnes can speak to that or not. Is that just a?
No, I really can't speak. That would be an owner. I think the owner would want what is allowable by the new liquor law, whatever that might be.
Right.
Because what he's really wanting to feature it as something that's identifiable, separate from the bowling alley, even though it does have a common door in and out.
Okay.
With it being resort status, the ABC will have to take the lead on the majority of that regulation. There is some state, local interplay there, Daniel, but I think some of our concerns about hours of operation, those kind of things, we need to coordinate with ABC to find out what exactly, how do they regulate that aspect of it. There is some interplay there, but with it being resort status, that puts it into the realm of state regulation.
Gotcha.
So we need to make sure that we don't run afoul of regulatory responsibility versus ours.
Well, I guess that's my only thing. I was just concerned with the operating hours and the access to
Yes.
it from the public from a
Right.
disturbance issue late at night.
Right.
Yeah.
Is there, so this is going to actually fall under totally different guidelines than normally we have in the past for all the other alcohol by the glass
Yes, sir.
with the city.
Yeah.
So we're going to fall under
Different set of rules.
ABC.
Yes, sir. And
Huh.
we will need to, potentially, there are ways to skin that cat. And I've seen it done in other instances, but it does take special attention to do it. And if we're going to have more resort status showing up in Rankin County like this, in the county, as opposed to municipalities, then we probably do need to address at the state legislator level how we might continue to be involved as a county in some aspects of regulation.
Yeah, because the cities, the first thing they're going to say is it's not fair to us.
Yes, sir. Well,
We can only operate
right.
these hours.
And as you might expect, the state is not nearly as, seemingly they're not nearly as concerned about matters of local regulation.
Right, right, I
That makes
understand, yeah.
sense. Neighborliness, those kinds of things, which obviously we are very interested in. So we may need to address that with our local legislators.
Okay.
Okay. All right.
Well, and I guess that's my only question. I just almost like
Yeah.
to talk to the owner itself to figure out exactly what the schematics of this thing's going to be, operating hours and everything else, other than what we see on the thing. So,
I guess, Ms. Barnes, I mean, I know you're kind of a loss because you're not the owner, but I guess we need to have some time that then you
Yeah.
need to relay.
is there a way?
Daniel,
Renee,
you speak to him.
is there a way, Renee, we can wait till Monday to make a ruling on this? Does that got to wait to the next planning commission meeting? Can I put it on the agenda for Monday?
They don't want to just treat this as a site plan review. I think it needs.
This is
to
just a
be
review.
Okay, so there's no action to be taken today anyway, right?
Well, normally we would.
Would approve it, but
Yeah,
we can wait.
My thing is, I just want to talk to them.
Sure.
And I can do that by Monday's meeting.
Well, why don't we
Well,
Well, you
you
just
do
wanna
that for Monday's
table
meeting?
this?
Can we
Or-
can we
I add that to the
do
Monday
that?
agenda?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay.
Let's do that.
You wanna-
And then let me talk to them over the weekend.
Would you need to have a motion to table it, or?
We just need to instruct us to move this to the 8-1 docket.
Yeah,
Okay.
We'll do that.
that'll give me the weekend. They'll be in town. They're not out of town or anything, are they?
I don't think so.
Okay.
Ms. Barnes, you'd be in contact with them then.
Yeah, should I ask them to contact the board?
They can contact me.
I can't read your name.
Daniel.
Daniel Cross.
Wrong.
Yeah,
Yeah, and we can get you that information.
yeah.
Or he could, anyway, y'all can swap information where you can get in touch. All right, thank you, Mr.
Yeah.
Barnes. All right,
Okay, the next item is site plan architectural review for McLean Restaurants and Farmers Market at 874 Hollybush Road. This property is located on the southwest corner of Hollybush at Clark Creek Road. It's a 8.44 acre parcel. It's zone C2. That's an aerial view of the property. This is a revised site plan that's been submitted for the McLean General Store and Restaurants and Farmers Market due to an increase in the square footage and the height of the buildings. The initial submittal for the general store and restaurants was for a 16,000 square foot building. The new proposed square footage is 23,500 square feet. The height of the general store and restaurants building is 64 feet 1 inch, and the height of the farmers market building is 49 feet. The building code would allow the building to be 65 feet, but our zoning ordinance sets the maximum building height at 35 feet unless a greater height is approved by the board. Brett Ishii and the Reservoir Fire Department have reviewed the plans for the project, and they've advised that 2 fire hydrants located within 90 feet of the building are required, along with a 20-foot fire access off Clark Creek Road at the back of the building. The architect, David Crumley, and Joe Cawthon are here representing Mr. McLean, but the architect submits that the roof structures and the heights are necessary to span the width of the 23,500 square foot building and project an aesthetically pleasing building. They do show on the site plan that 20-foot access behind the building back here. They're going to place the fire hydrants within 90 feet of the building, which is what the fire department wanted. They show 2 on the plan. The driveways, all the parking, everything is concrete. That's what y'all requested at the initial submittal. That's shown on here. This is the general store. This is the farmers market building. They showed a detention area here at the back, and Mr. Parker has received the revised drainage plans and runoff calculations, and he doesn't have a problem with that. Like I said, Mr. Cawthon and Mr. Crumley are here if y'all have any questions for them today. These are just the elevations of the building. This is the front and the west side. This is the rear and the east side of the building. This is the farmers market building, the elevations for it. And this is the color rendering. This is a view of that property out on Hollybush.
Even though that it is above the normal height for a building in the county, this is one floor, and I've looked at it with Renee and others, and it's only one floor. People are not going to be on the second. That's I guess the main concern with the fire safety is getting someone out of the second floor. if it's a fire on the first floor and, but there's nobody would be on the second floor because there's not a second floor. And then they've also come together with the fire department with the extra water hydrants, and it seems to me like that they've met all the requirements that we've asked for, so I make a motion we accept it.
Second.
Motion to accept this by Mr. Gaines, second Mr. Cross. Any more discussion? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Okay. Now, nuisance properties.
Good morning, gentlemen. The first item under the nuisance considerations is the continuation of the Holly Warren nuisance property, 101 John Wayne Drive. This is a District 4 parcel. We'll reopen that public hearing, and this time I would ask Renee to demonstrate the condition of the property, and I'll go ahead and put on notice anyone who's intending to speak in the Holly Warren nuisance property matter.
All right, these pictures were taken April 14th. This was a complaint we received about dumping of wood waste on that residential property. Also of a landscape or a tree service business, vehicles parked there, operation of a business. Like I said, these were the pictures from April 14th. Now, he came to the hearing on June the 28th, and it was continued today. These pictures were from the June 28th meeting. And then these pictures were taken on Tuesday the 26th. That pile of wood waste is still on the property. And there's...
It's all gone now. We hauled it out yesterday. We hauled it out yesterday.
You want to come forward, please? You know, just state your name and...
Hamilton Warren, 101 John Wayne Road. Holly's my wife. Car's gone. Truck, that's my personal truck. That's my work truck. And the pile of debris is gone. That's gone.
You hauled it off yesterday?
We hauled it off yesterday morning before the rain came in yesterday.
Sir, I didn't know inspected again before we dismiss it? Or-
Yeah, let's give these people time to go look at it and confirm what you're saying, and I feel like you're telling us the truth. But
Right, I wouldn't lie. I mean, it's kind of
Right.
obvious.
I mean, I don't think this will cause you any more time to have to come down here and do anything. If you've moved it off, they'll say it's gone and it'll be done. Just let them report back to us like you have, and, you know, I feel like everything will be fine.
Just do a motion, you just want to do a contingent, them approving.
Yeah,
them
contingency
inspecting.
till they concur with what you've reported.
That way you want to come back.
Yep.
Good deal.
Good?
Awesome. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you for getting it done.
Go ahead and make that motion.
All right, you want to make a motion?
I'll make the motion that we approve that contingent to
The inspection.
inspection by Renee's department.
All right. All right, motion, Mr. Gaines,
Second.
second, Ms. Morrow. Any discussion? Not, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed?
Next item is the continuation of the Timothy Jones nuisance property, 102 Oakdale Circle, District 4. At this time, I'll ask Renee to demonstrate with photos, and I'll put whoever is going to speak in the Timothy Jones nuisance matter on notice. We'll hear from you.
All right, these pictures were taken on May the 16th. We'd received complaints about the condition of this property. These pictures were taken June 28th for the meeting on that day. And these were pictures that were taken on Tuesday. that's it.
Do you have something you'd like to say?
I'm working on it. The boat's gone. Half the stuff on the carport is gone. Stuff on the side of the driveway is all gone. Only thing I've got left, that silver truck is an extra truck, and I've got a trailer there to haul the stuff off the carport, but the majority of it is gone. Only thing I've got is that RV, and I just move it. You want me to put it in back, I guess, on the driveway somewhere away from the mailbox? I had somebody that was going to come by and buy it, but he didn't show back up.
Did you say that the stuff in the garage and the carport is gone?
No, I've only got about one trailer load to go. Got it boxed up, sorted out.
Since
That's
July
not there.
26th, which was Tuesday?
July
Is that right, Monday or
26th.
Tuesday?
No, that's not correct. That picture, all that's gone. I mean, not all of it, but the majority of it is. That little table's there, that ductwork is gone, all the stuff on the end of the house is gone. The stuff around the front door is all
I
gone.
mean, you moved it though since the 26th.
I guess so.
You had to have.
Yesterday.
Well, no, yesterday?
No,
That's not,
no,
that's
Tuesday.
not
I think
correct.
it's
Tuesday.
Tuesday.
This picture
I
was
think
taken
it's
Tuesday.
Tuesday.
he moved it yesterday.
Right, that's what I'm saying. That'd been yesterday.
Well, I guess, no, I moved it Saturday. That's not a correct picture. I don't know how that date got.
I went by there, I went by there Monday or Tuesday.
Yeah.
And it was at least that much under that.
Okay, well, the majority of that is gone now.
I say we move it to justice. and
I've
let
I've
them
just
work.
been under a lot of work here. I've had to go out of town for a couple of weeks.
They'll-
You've had a month.
I will be, give me this weekend, I'll get to it, the rest of it gone.
uh,
What you want me to do with the RV?
Move it.
How far back?
Well, I'd rather you park it at an RV park or either one of the storage places that allow for that.
Well, that's where it's supposed to be. It's supposed to be at a deer camp, but they're cutting down trees and redoing the roads, and that's why I put it there.
How far, you said in the back, how far back can you put it?
I don't know if you can get.
I can go way on back in the back. My lot's,
That is-
200
But
something feet.
right now, when you get back there, you're right next to somebody else's yard, aren't you?
No, there's field behind me. There's not really. There's a lady that's back there, but she's 8 foot below my grade, so, and I've got a wooden fence all the way around my property.
I say just move it on up the hill and they will work with you on that. We have tried, this is now 60 days. You had 30 before you got here and we give you another 30. And
I just need this weekend.
Yeah, by,
Well,
if I can interject,
yeah.
by going ahead and classifying it as a nuisance and instructing our office to move it up to justice, Mr. Jones will have adequate time,
Mhm.
probably at least 30 days before the justice court can tend to the matter, so he will get the extension of time that he needs, but we don't have to keep
yeah.
No.
Okay,
impaling
let's do
this
that.
hearing just to put it off. We can go ahead and make the classification, and then he'll have the time he needs to get it addressed before it gets to the justice court stage.
Okay, well, that's my
Okay.
motion is to
All right.
move it up the hill.
So what's the
Move-
outcome
do
of that?
declare-
I don't-
move, the what?
I don't understand what this is involving.
We're
He's
just making
declaring
this
it-
up when
go
we
ahead.
come back.
Okay. But I have had a lot of unexpected work to come up, and I've been gone for 2 weeks since before the 4th, and I didn't expect that to happen.
This will allow you some time to get it, but what you're doing, you're declaring it a nuisance. And so your motion would be declared a nuisance. And is that correct?
Yes.
All right.
So do I need to notify you when I have it moved?
You can stay in touch with.
I would talk to these ladies, or this lady and her staff.
Of course, they're
Yeah.
gonna be doing inspections as they have occasion, so our suggestion would be to go ahead and take advantage of this.
Yep, time
delay
period, yeah.
Where you can get it cleaned up.
It gives
That way-
you opportunity to get it done and ample time to get more of it done.
Well, I apologize for the nuisance. It's just continually dropping and running with my
Okay.
small business.
All right, I got a motion about, motion, Mr. Gaines, second, Mr. Cross.
Is that it?
There's a nuisance. Any more discussion? All in favor say aye. All opposed?
Thank you.
Thank you.
The next item, gentlemen, is the Cesar Castaneda nuisance property, 212 Fannin Landing Circle. This is a District 2 property. We'll let Renee demonstrate, and whoever is here to speak on the Castaneda matter can be prepared to come forward.
We started receiving calls in May from neighbors about an older model manufactured home being placed on property at 212 Fannin Landing Circle. We didn't have any kind of permit for the mobile home to be placed there. That's a view of the home and where it was placed. This is what it looks like today. John went out to investigate the situation, and there's a sign in this yard that's advertising an upholstery business in Pearl. So John went to Pearl and spoke to Mr. Castaneda, and he told him there were multiple issues with the placement of the manufactured home on the property. First of all, it's zoned RE1, which doesn't allow for a manufactured home. Also, there can only be one dwelling per parcel, and this would be the second dwelling on this property. It also appears that the manufactured home has been placed too close to the side property line, and we have an ordinance that requires that you have your permit in place before you actually move the manufactured home to the property. Also, this lot is overgrown at the very front of the property, and then again, that sign, it's advertising a business in Pearl. This is a residentially zoned location, so it's not allowed there. We asked for some additional information, and nothing's happened. We haven't heard anything back from Mr. Castaneda, and so anyway, we moved it forward as a nuisance property. We continue to hear from the neighbors. You know, they don't want it there. Like I said, it's very close to that side property line. There's the sign.
Is he not here?
I'm not sure if he's here today or not now.
Speak on the Castaneda matter. Anyone?
Like I said, John spoke to him personally. Our mail has been
Oh.
returned to us. But that property is listed in the name of Christian Missionaries Trust. We found something on the Secretary of State's website, and we sent a letter to that address to the registered agent. He called and he said that business had been dissolved many years ago and that it was not them. So,
How long's it been there?
since May, it came in when we started getting those calls in
Okay.
May.
I'd like to make a motion, move it up to Justice Court. Move on from there.
Okay. Motion, Mr. Cross declares a nuisance.
Second.
Second, Mr. Gaines. All in favor, say aye. All opposed?
Okay, the next item is the Jimmy Shed nuisance property, 123 Pole Bridge Road, District 4. This time we'll open the public hearing, we'll have Renee demonstrate with the photos. I'll put whomever is here to speak on the Jimmy Shed matter to be prepared to come forward.
Come on up, please.
We've had multiple complaints on this property in the past. There previously was a old manufactured home on this property that they did tear down and clean up. Now we're getting calls about someone occupying a camper and living in it as a permanent dwelling on this property. These pictures were taken on May the 16th.
Yep.
And these are the new pictures on July the 26th. Mr. Shedd did sign for the first letter where we asked him to remove the camper and clean up the property. But he has not contacted us, and there's been no change.
Okay, if you would, just state your name and address,
Jimmy
please.
Shedd, just under the Martha Ann Bates estate,
Oh.
which was my mother.
Your address?
All 123 Pole Bridge Road.
Okay.
And I was waiting on a settlement to come in, that way I could get my brother and them's name off of the property and give a building permit to build a residence. And I had the camper from Deer Camp. I moved it over there, and I'm out of the place that I was at, so I was staying in it until it come through, and the funds hasn't come through.
I think the issue is, can only set up home, travel trailer up for certain length of time. You can't be, is that not where we are?
That's right.
Can't just set it up as a
Permanent dwelling.
place, a permanent dwelling. I think that's where we are. Okay, sure.
That's not our permanent dwelling. I mean, we don't have intentions
Speak.
of living in
What's
there.
your name and address?
Kathy Bone, 1106 Trickham Bridge Road. We actually live in his memos. We had a settlement coming in, it's supposed to have been in March, and now it's delayed till October. We have been going over there working on the property, getting it prepared to build at the back part of it, where the septic and the light pole and all that was prior to
Right.
the trailer burning. I mean, anybody in the right mind knows that you don't want to live in a travel home the rest of your life. That's not our permanent residence.
Was it your mobile home that burned?
No, it was his mother's.
My
Okay.
brother had it,
I see.
my older brother.
Okay.
Between my neighbors want my land and my brother.
I mean,
Trying to time me up.
while we've been over there, we've been working on the land. I don't understand. I mean, it is his land. I don't understand why he's not allowed to at least work on it and say it his memos. I mean, if we leave it over there just open and vacant, then you have a problem. Then you have people coming in from previous years thinking that it's just an open free lot and coming there and drinking and throwing their bottles all out on underneath the and driving off and leaving us with the mess. So therefore we've been going over there on the weekends, and some nights have been staying the night over there in the camper. But as far as staying over there every night, no sir.
Okay. I mean, it just looked like, if you just drove by you, it appears from the picture that's
Right,
where I
because
made
that's
that
where
comment.
that we're living there.
Right, but
I mean, that's where we intend to build. The septic is right there.
I understand.
Make a motion, we move it to justice.
All right, motion, Mr. Gaines, declare this a nuisance.
Second.
Second, Mr. Morrow. Any discussion? All in favor, say aye. All opposed? Now, again, they understand about the 30 days.
Yes, sir.
That still gives you some time, even though it's been declared a nuisance, you will have to do something, but you do have probably whatever time you have between the time it gets to court, so probably approximate 30 days to do something, so you do have some time to get it cleaned up.
No
Okay.
time for any
All
of
right.
this.
All right.
Thank you.
Thank God.
Mr. President, the next item is the Johnny Cooksey nuisance property, 656 Andrew Chapel Road, District 4. This time we'll ask Renee to demonstrate with the photos, and if there's someone here to speak on the Johnny Cooksey matter.
All right, we've received complaints on,
Huh?
Jimmy Shield?
What that was him.
Oh, Jim
About
Shields.
what's
Yeah.
Okay, I'll start paying attention. Don't worry.
we've received complaints on this property in the past, partly about a mechanic business being operated on the property. These pictures were taken June the 20th. Mr. Cooksey's home burned. You can still see part of the foundation of that home there. Also, there have been 3 campers on the property. And these pictures were taken on Tuesday. Mr. Cooksey has been working on the property. 2 of the campers are gone now, and some of the vehicles are gone. That's it.
What say you, Mr. Cooksey?
Pardon?
What do you have to say to us?
State
Oh,
your name and address.
Oh,
please.
Johnny Cooksey, 656 Andrew Chapel Road.
All right, thank you.
And like Renee said, I've cleaned up just about everything. I've got 90% of it gone, and if y'all will give me another week, it'll be to Mr. Jones's specifications.
We'll give him.
I just need at least a week.
I make a motion that we continue this till the next work session.
Second.
Okay. All right. Motion.
30 days.
Motion.
Okay. Thank you.
Motion, Mr. Gaines, to continue this for 30 days
Until our
till our next work session.
September 1st. And Mr. Cooksey is to be here that day?
In
September 1st.
1st.
Okay. That give you enough time?
Huh?
That fair enough?
That's fair enough,
All right.
yes, sir.
All right, motion, Mr. Gaines.
Second.
Second, Mr. Morrow. Any discussion? All in favor say aye. All opposed? Okay. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you for
You're
doing
not
what you're doing.
related to the Johnny Cooksey that played football at Mississippi State, are you?
That was Cooks.
Cook, okay. Johnny Cook, that's right.
Cooks with this.
Cooks.
Close.
Come on now.
They look alike.
That's right.
Okay, have a motion to adjourn. All right. The next meeting will be Thursday, September 1st. Have a motion to adjourn. Mr. Morrow, second. Mr. Cross, all in favor, aye? Aye. All opposed? Okay. Now, we'll call to order our Rankin County Board of Supervisors work session here, meeting. First on the agenda, the public comments from Brandon Cobb, Vector Control.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Just going to give y'all a quick update on what we've been doing with mosquito control across the county. This season has been going real well. We've had a lot lower count of mosquitoes population this season. Also, the larvae and standing bodies of water has been way down. Also, we've noticed that there's a lot more of the ditches we saw last year that were holding water are flowing a lot better. I don't know if it's because of the rains we had in the spring. The floods may have washed them out so they flow better. But we're seeing a lot less standing water as far as ditches inside the road holes and such.
Maybe our road crews are doing a better job cleaning the ditches.
That may be as well, yes. But we're seeing a lot less standing water and a lot less larvae. We're also seeing a lot lower mosquito population. The trap counts from our surveillance every week has been, actually, starting last year, we had the drought and everything, so we had a lot more mosquitoes. This year, I started questioning whether or not our traps were working correctly at first because we just weren't seeing the numbers. But between a little bit cooler weather this year, a little bit more rain than last year, and the work we did last year, we have a lot lower counts. And this year, we've been spraying the county. We've had very few calls, and mostly people just want to check to see, have we been spraying? They hadn't seen us. And it's usually, though not 100%, the day after we've sprayed that area. So it's gone real well. We haven't had any problems as far as reports of any disease, such as West Nile. We haven't had any positive tests or cases announced in the county, although in the municipality of Flowood, they did have one case, but even the 1 mile radius is not close to our county jurisdiction. So we haven't had much problems this year like we did last year. Everything seems to be going real well. Do y'all have any questions for us?
No, I think you're right. I've had very few phone calls. The only ones I've had are the spraying this year. And, I explained the way we can pull the GPS and tell and show that you are and everything, and that y'all used to spray at different hours. Most people aren't out looking.
Yes, sir.
So,
and
anyway.
that's usually when they call and I talk to them, I explain how we decide where we're going to spray,
Right.
when we've sprayed there. And of course, I offer, to come out there. We have gone to a few houses and sprayed with backpacks to help, especially if it's an overgrown yard or large property that has a lot of trees that the trucks really won't get into. But we've had a lot fewer calls this year than we had last year, and everything's just been going really, really well. We haven't had any problems.
I don't have any questions. I would like to know how I could contact. I don't have your contact.
My number's right there on the front.
Okay, all right, good. All right.
Covered.
Yeah, we'll ask you about something later. Okay.
Ms. Janice says y'all are welcome to contact me anytime.
All right.
Any questions, and I'll be happy to help y'all out in any way.
Thank you for the report.
Thank
you.
Thank y'all. Have a good day.
Thank you. All right, next we have Sir Larry Mobley, Assistant Director of Rankin First.
Morning, gentlemen.
Morning.
I'm here to review the tax exemption requests. I believe you have the form in front of you. And just to note, there is one typo on there. There's one listed on there as industrial paper. It should be international paper.
Okay.
But I'm requesting approval of the tax exemptions based on the review of John Sullivan, the tax assessor, as well as our Rankin County Board approval of these tax exemptions.
All right. Any questions?
Good to go.
I'll make a motion.
We don't, I think it's not too Monday.
Okay, we don't have to do anything.
If you have any questions,
No, do you have a question or anything?
no. We had 7 requests this year. One of them is mandatory by state law, so we really had 6. This is probably one of the lowest years we've had in the time that I've been with Rankin First. These companies, we incentivize them to reinvest in their companies and to keep their competitive edge and keep their employment levels up. And that's the purpose of this. This is a 1-year. This is an exemption based on their capital investment from the previous year. Okay, so they're just ask that you make this request. We are a business-friendly community, and so we want to keep that.
Okay.
All right, well, let's recommend a table it, so, okay.
All right.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks for the update. All right, next we have Mrs. Leslie Scott from MAS.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Good morning, Leslie.
If I could, I'd like to hand out a couple of things, and then I won't take much of your time this morning, but yeah, there it goes. And so I have the directories that we had, some of you picked up at the convention. We have a couple, one from Ms. Oster and one from Mr. Bishop, who's not here, so I'll leave his to her. We published our new directories, like you all know, since the elections, the new 4-year terms here in January, took office in January. What Mr. Slade's passing out first is my business card. I want you all to know how to find me or reach me if you need anything. Your association is here to help you. And the other item is just a promotional piece of literature that pertains to one of the programs that we're implementing, that are relatively new that the association is implementing to help our members. First, let me just say it's a pleasure to be here. It's always good for me to be able to get out and visit among our member counties, and I thank you. I know you're busy. Thank you for the opportunity to be here, and I'm going to be brief. I want to tell you that, especially for those of you who are newer to the association, that I first became familiar with the MAS in my capacity as an attorney at the Butler Snow Law Firm. We provided general counsel services, Butler Snow did, to the association. So I knew the association shortly before Mr. Surratt arrived to be the new executive director. I can tell you, since coming to work for the MAS as their in-house general counsel, that the association is almost unrecognizable. The transformation has been remarkable. While I think the association was doing an adequate job for many years, it had just sort of gotten sluggish, I guess you could say, like some organizations do. We were providing a little bit of education, a little bit of lobbying, and some networking opportunities. But Mr. Surratt arrived, and what he began to do was to meet with members, learn of problems that were existing in our counties, particularly budgetary problems. And he then began to go to some conferences where he met with his counterparts from southeastern states, other county government association directors. And he learned that, frankly, MAS was behind Alabama, Arkansas, in terms of what they were actively pursuing to try to be helpful to their counties and help counties address some of the challenges they're facing right now. So what he did is he began to work, and under his leadership, the board of directors of your association began to talk seriously about things we needed to start doing to be of more service. Member services is kind of the theme of the day. And I'm happy to say that in that short period of time, I think I've been with the association for 4 years in August, there have been a lot of things added to the member services that we do. And one of them is the MASIP program. and I have worked very intensely in getting that program up and running. I was pleased in the first year of its existence to be asked to serve as its administrator. So I wear two hats. I'm general counsel for your association. I'm the administrator of this program. And this is a property and casualty insurance program that we now have. We started working on it in 2013 after the board of directors gave us the directive to do that. We first wrote coverage in April of 2014. And so we're technically in our third year of providing coverage, and we have 45 of the 82 counties in the state that have joined and are members of the Mississippi Association of Supervisors Insurance Trust. So while I'm very proud of that. I'm very proud of what we've been able to do in terms of providing very good coverage at a good price. That's sort of the theme that I bring to counties when I mention this program. It's not right for every county. We certainly had some counties at the beginning that wanted to step back and wait and see how we did, and I understood that. Like I said, here we are in year 3, and we've got 45 of our counties. We're the largest property and casualty carrier to our Mississippi counties anywhere. So we're proud of that, proud of our members who stepped out, had faith in us, and of our board that directed us to get this program going. But we've saved millions of dollars for counties in the way of premiums. And there's many reasons why we've done that, but one of the ways we do it is obviously we're not out to make a profit. And private business has to make a profit. That's why, nothing wrong with that, but they have stockholders that they have to answer to. And so that's always built in, that profit margin's built into the premium. We don't have to build that into our premium. We have some administrative costs, but they're very, very low comparatively speaking. And then we don't have the extra profit that we have to charge back to our insurance. So that program, I can say, and I'm happy to say that this year we will be, I am already working with your risk management partners. I think that's the name, Mr. Mixon. And they are helping, they're your consultant, and they're working with us to collect your underwriting data so that we can produce a quote this year. And, you go to them, they'll evaluate it and come to you as I understand the process. But I just wanted, because several of you are new to the role of being a supervisor, and the association really is, in many ways, been reborn, I wanted to come here and let you put a face with a name, let you know that we're there. We're right over off President Street in Jackson. You're close enough to come by and visit us anytime you'd like. And if you ever have a question about anything that you think we can help you with, that's what we're there for. And I enjoy working with Rankin County. I enjoy Mr. Slay is a great lawyer. You've got a great staff. And you're a leading county in the state. So we are really, really pleased to be quoting you with our program this year. And like I said, we've got several other programs we'll be happy to talk to you about if you are interested in talking and working with us. If there are any questions or comments, I'm happy to answer them. I don't want to take a bunch of your very, I know you're very busy.
I had actually, Leslie had spoken to me at MAS, and I had told her it might be good to come just to introduce herself to everybody. I knew y'all, some of y'all knew, didn't know if you knew certain things. So anyway, appreciate you coming. And so you're set up to, I guess, if to go through our people to offer
Yes, I believe you renewed some of your coverages November 1st and some December 1st, but we're working with your consultant to make sure that we can, and there'll be no problem accommodating those changes, those different dates, I mean. So we're working with them. They're providing us data steadily, and right now we're on track. So we appreciate that very much.
Okay.
From your partners there.
All right. Well, I appreciate you coming, introducing, and bringing this information, and I guess we'll wait and see, go from there.
Sure.
Thank you.
And thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
Thank you, Leslie.
Yes, ma'am.
All right, next, Mr. Craig Slade, Board Attorney.
Yeah, I'm not sure about that compliment for the attorney.
Need to get with Leslie and make sure that her judgment is still on target there.
Something's wrong.
Yeah. That may have just been professional courtesy.
Ms. Oster.
First thing, gentlemen, under my section is a discussion of a request that we've received, the county's received from the Mississippi Army National Guard for acreage that would be located in the Rankin County Industrial Park. It would be for the purpose of a service facility that the Guard is intending and has already essentially moved forward with a funding request. And so they're in anticipation of that funding request being provided by the federal government. They are on an acreage hunt now to see about locating the facility. So I asked Larry to hang around. He graciously agreed to do that to help us evaluate this. The site, as suggested from the guard, would be within the acreage that's controlled by Rankin First. So now you understand why I wanted Larry to help speak on this.
Yeah. Shortly after you guys received the letter, I went and met with the Army National Guard, and we went over some of the basic parameters of the requirements were. And it's gifted land, free land. They need a 55-year lease on that property at $1 a year. That's a requirement. But the project will bring 30 full-time jobs to the site. This is a service facility. The Army National Guard has 2,300 vehicles within this area, within the MSA of Jackson, that have to be serviced continuously. This facility will be a $10 million facility. They have assured me, and it'll go before our board as well as the City of Brandon's board for architectural requirements, meeting all the covenants within our park. We have selected a site with the help of engineering services, a 15-acre parcel, which is the minimum acreage that they require. And we're just kind of moving forward with it. Our board has approved it as of the 19th of this month to continue working with the Army National Guard. If you have any questions, we just want your blessing and your support that you guys are okay with this, that we move forward with this. I think it'll be a benefit to the park.
I guess my only question was, I mean, how, it's just gonna provide jobs, but really, we draw no ad valorem, anything out of this.
Correct. That's
I mean,
We
so
do
really,
one-
what are we gonna,
we
what
get
do
a dollar
we get
a
out
year.
of it?
$55.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Present value is about $1.50.
There are no tax revenue. There is no tax revenue.
there's no benefit.
It's the traffic that it generates.
What-
The servicing of vehicles, you know, the 30 employees, you know, we may, it's really just a traffic generator.
They'll eat lunch
Where's
and buy a tank of gas.
where's the location?
We have decided on a site which is actually, you know where the General Motors facility is in our park?
Yeah.
It would be just to the south of that, on a corner, just to the south of that, off the new road. It will be out of sight, off the beaten path, as you would say. It's not off of Marquette Road. It's off of East
It's
Metro.
towards the back end of the development.
Yeah.
That helps any.
Yeah. Do you, I mean, you have so much more experience with Rankin First and what y'all do than, I mean, I have none. Is this gonna hurt us as far as, I mean, this takes away a chunk of our land that we had to make money with, but
I'll be honest with you, the property back there, it's an old limestone quarry. The dirt is horrible. I think any development in there is gonna help spur future development. It is not the greatest property. I mean, you know, we've struggled selling that property as it is today, because of the dirt work involved in it. You're talking upwards of $60,000 to $80,000 an acre just to get it pad ready. That's tough for any company to come in there, any prospect to buy it. So I look at it as activity in the park, maybe generating some activity. You know, typically if we had a new industry come in there, we would provide them a 10-year ad valorem exemption anyway. I know we lose the school taxes and those kind of things, but I look at it as a benefit. I really do. You know, it's the Army National Guard. It's going to be a hard thing to say. It's hard to tell them no.
Oh, I understand, it's just, I can't see where it's gonna be the big benefit. I mean, most of the people that are there probably live, they're not gonna be moving here.
Correct.
Yeah,
They're already located
right,
in the metro
right,
area.
right. I mean, it sounds good and it's a good thing for us, but as far as any revenue from it, that's kinda sad.
There is no revenue.
I know, at $55.
do we have to do anything today? I mean, can we kick this around and think,
We're just looking for your support, and it's because the request was made.
It's just
to the
discussion.
Board of Supervisors.
okay,
We want to make sure that you're on board with our board, and that we can move together forward, or move forward together on this issue.
there would be, you don't projected any of the neighbors, and I'm talking about commercial,
Yeah, we don't have any neighbors. So
well, the,
Well, General Motors.
yeah.
In Lantern, They're a trucking facility.
They're
They've
not.
got trucks coming in there every
So they're
day,
not- it's
just
not-
like this facility.
And it's still gonna be the architectural review of that board, the ranking first board, so it's not gonna be just a metal building filling up with the specs the government wants to do. They've got to meet what ranking first wants them to do, so.
And also to add to that, my next step after we get approval from you guys or support from you guys, I'll move to meet with Mayor Butch, with the city of Brandon, to make sure that he's on board with it as well. Understanding because he's giving up his taxes as well.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, he'll benefit more than anybody else really because of no possible heating,
gas,
sales tax.
Well, I would have went to Mayor Butch before I came here. That may be the bigger hill to climb.
And we can do that.
I'm just thinking out loud.
Yeah.
They have a facility, is it in the Newton area or
Decatur.
Decatur area?
The city they built. It's, their requirements, as far as architectural requirements, were not as stringent out there. It was all, it doesn't look quite as nice, but this facility will meet every requirement that we ask of them, as well as the city. I think it'll be a benefit to the park as far as aesthetics when they get completed. They've got $10 million to spend on a 40,000 square foot facility in a 15-acre park.
Can you see that drawing anything else? Can you see this helping draw anything else?
Some service
I
type.
think the activity in itself will draw some ancillary developments. I mean, that's
Something that we might recoup a little from.
correct.
Yeah, that's the kind I'm talking about, not the more like the same. Yeah.
Given its location and it is the Army National Guard, I'm supportive of the move, to support the board, ranking first board, and continuing on to see where you need to go next.
And this is a 2020 funding day. This all hinges on them getting funding
No.
for 2020.
Yeah.
We're putting together an MOU with them saying that the land is available if the funding becomes available.
Okay.
Whether or not it fits in the funding cycle,
Okay.
It's been cut before. I mean.
it's.
A lot of hurdles to overcome
They've come
before.
around before. They came through here about
Yeah.
5-6 years ago.
Oh.
Same
Yep.
thing.
Never met.
Right.
Uh-huh.
Well, I
Yeah.
trust your judgment.
Yep.
I'm supporting you, and then you can support it.
Yeah. Yeah.
Thank you, Larry.
Yeah, thank you.
Thank you.
All right.
Gentlemen, the next item under my section is a discussion of our proposed RFP on our election systems. I have.
And don't bring that stuff up here.
Wait, I'm prepared to go
Kidding?
through all of it.
Don't bring that up.
Every page?
Get ready.
Did you bring lunch?
Thank you, Lunch.
Wait.
Boy.
Just a second.
Is this a short version?
This is for light reading. This is for y'all to take with you. Yes,
It's
madam.
actually without the contract, so there's probably another 25 pages missing.
It's just.
Joe, thank you. There's your cheat sheet. That's some of the summary information that we're talking about.
Yeah, this is the only sheet I need, the summary. Summary's good with me.
Yeah. Well, and the
We
summary
get charged by the page, I think.
is actually a list of items that, this list was given to me by the election commissioners, your IT group, your circuit clerk. And so what I did with this list is I just referenced the part of the RFP where you can actually find these items, just to make it a little easier for their review. Because as you can see, the document itself is kind of a standard legal RFP document that if you flip over to page 4, actually, where you'll see the table of contents, that it just goes through the different sections of, you know, what's in the document, how the vendor is going to respond, what they have to provide back to us as far as vendor information, legal and contractual information. There's a section for proposal exceptions. So if they take an exception to anything that's in the RFP, then they actually have to present that in writing, and then the evaluation team has an opportunity to review those exceptions and determine whether to accept or reject them. So that's that part. The RFP questionnaire is just general business information about the entity that's providing the proposal. And then when you get to section 7, that's actually the technical specifications. And if you look on your document, let's see, it actually starts on page 27. What we do in this section is we give those specifications, and then the vendor is actually allowed to respond in 4 different categories. It shows as A, B, C, and D on the grid, but on 27 it tells you, okay, we have this, or we don't have this, but we'll give it to you at no additional cost. That's B. C is, no, we don't have it, and we will do it for you, but it is going to cost you additionally. And then the 4th option, D, is we don't have it, we're never going to have it, you're kind of out of luck. So it actually gives them the ability to respond to the specifications, and more importantly, it gives your evaluation team an opportunity to truly evaluate what the responses are. In addition to those responses, of course, they're required to provide detail and comment, which is the detail section in that grid. So we go through all the different categories that you would want to look at in your voting system until you get to page 59, which is your cost information summary. What we do in the cost information is we ask them to price out each component separately, and then when you get to section 13 and 14, they're required to present a configuration by precinct based on the number of voters that are in each precinct. And we're asking them to do that for both a touchscreen system and for a scanning system, assuming they have both of those. They don't have to do both, but we're asking them to provide configurations both ways. So that is in section 8, 13, and 14. We also require that we're asking for a 5-year total cost of ownership. So we want to know what maintenance costs are, what support costs are, what database build costs are, everything that, even consumables, we're asking them to provide paper cost, printing cost, and things like batteries and supplies. So we're actually looking for an entire comprehensive package of what it will take to run these systems for the next 5 years in Rankin County. The contract that Craig is working on with me will be Exhibit A. Exhibit B is a technical document for how the system's going to actually interface with SIMS, the Statewide Election Management System. Basically, it's going to take away your staff's need to sit down and enter all of the results manually, like y'all have done for the past 10 years. The people that are on the statewide system actually just click an import button, and all those numbers are automatically imported from their voting machine system, and that's where we want Rankin County to be as well. It will take a tremendous burden off of your staff. And then the last exhibit is just actually a list of all your precincts with your active voter counts and where those precincts are located. An option in the RFP is asking the vendor, what if you store and deliver that equipment for us for each election and the cost associated with that? And so that's why we provide the addresses and everything, so they would know exactly where they need to go to deliver that equipment. So that's an overview. We still have a few more edits. We have people from your staff that are actually still reviewing. It takes a while to get through it all. But our goal is to have the final document ready for y'all's approval on Monday. Any questions?
Y'all still on your timeline as far as
Yes, sir.
leading what you kind of laid out? Because I think we found out school districts having their election in March.
In March.
March.
March is what we were told, yes, sir. The list document that I handed out, the two-page list document, I just wanted to stress that is the work product of the election commissioners, Rusty with the IT department, Ms. Becky in the circuit clerk's office. These were considerations with respect to the RFP and the systems. These were their considerations, and so Madeline incorporated these suggestions into the RFP, and we want to give you guys visual proof that the staff and the elected officials who are going to be ultimately responsible for the conduct of the elections have been very actively involved in this process. I think that needs to be stressed, and we appreciate very much their work with us and their help. And I really do want to say thank you to Madeline for her work in putting this together. This document is very thorough, you can see, obviously. And so you got the opportunity from now over the weekend, should you so desire to accept it. You can look through it yourself, and if you see any issues that need clarification, we can certainly take advantage of that opportunity in the next few days. But it will be back in front of you on Monday.
Any other questions, anything?
Rock and roll.
All right, next we have Ms. Laura Oster. Review of this agenda.
That's all I have this morning. If y'all have any questions on the agenda coming up for Monday. I should say that's all I have for right now. I have some things a little later.
Nothing we didn't discuss then.
We do have some additional business that we need to discuss.
All right, well, let's move on to additional business. No anyone has any questions on the agenda? Okay, move on to additional business.
The first item is the discussion of the renaming of roads and readdressing of residents on Shiloh Road due to the reconstruction, and I believe that Bob and Melissa are here to speak to that.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Morning.
Got a big stack here. I don't know if y'all have these documents or want these documents. It's the renaming.
I've run out of room.
All three of them are in Mr. Gaines' district. The chain link, we're renaming two roads that the folks can agree on or recommended the renaming.
Gaines Drive, Gaines Circle, and Gaines Lane.
That's on the third one that they're fighting about. But chain lane, everybody out there's agreed on the name for that. Pleasant Pace Drive, everybody's agreed on that. We've got another one that the folks are not able to come to an agreement on. It's strictly up to the board supervisor. This will come up Monday, for y'all's approval. But typically, the way it works, and I would recommend again, that the board contact them and give them one more chance. And if they can't come up with a name, then I would go ahead and make the selection.
So I guess they got, what, 2 or 3 names they're working off of? Let's get
We got some recommendations on here that Melissa has submitted that are unnamed roads right now. One thing we want to look at when we're doing this is make sure that it's not a, we don't have a duplicate. We've got a lot of them out there now, and we've tried, over the years, every chance we get, to make some changes, throughout the year. So, naturally, for the emergency services, it's really important not to have duplications throughout the county.
Can y'all check and make sure, or try to not duplicate where we have a private drive that has a name? Because in my district, there's a Taylor Way private drive and a Taylor Way public. And even the people that live on them don't know that one of them's not public, so.
Yeah, there's several throughout the county, and, we try to eliminate, every chance we get. And, once again, it's one of those deals where, it gets pretty touchy when you start, and, we've had several rounds here when you start renaming addresses.
It can get pretty
Well,
ugly.
the one we're talking about now, they're not really against the name. It's just, from what I understand, nobody wants to. They're more cautious about someone thinking that they were taken over, or because their people live there longer. They're really more cautious than just fighting. I want this name. They're all pushing back, going, "Hey, y'all just work it out." Isn't that right?
Yeah.
I mean, it's not a.
We're willing to work with them.
There's no fruit. Well,
Anyway, we
about
can, but, you know, sometimes, you know, I'll tell you, it gets pretty contentious, you know.
Called Shotgun Road.
yeah. That was. I would say let's just give them another opportunity. If they don't, then
Tell them we're gonna fix the name something.
yeah, we got to name it. And they. I think there's a couple of names that you said that's been thrown out there that they.
And we got the recommendation. Did you get the copy from Melissa? I'll make sure.
I went over. Renee went over this stuff with me the other day. I think was it Renee or
No.
maybe this office
Probably
over here.
Melissa.
Was it Dana?
It was a lady.
How about the one back
Okay.
there?
How about the one right there?
I'll leave you this copy. This explains it all. But like I said, I just want you guys to be aware. You know, this comes up.
It was that blonde back there, Steve.
Okay.
It comes up from time to time. So
Oh yeah, on the phone. That's why. See, I didn't know because she was on the phone.
Y'all want FaceTime?
No,
Okay.
no. Okay, that clears it up.
All right.
I was, yep.
Okay.
The thing with this, for in case somebody doesn't know, these homes were facing either Shallow Road or Highway 43, and when they reconstructed that, their house or their frontage may not face Shallow. It may be on 43 now, or it may have been on 43 and now it's on Shallow. So they know and we know that we've got to change.
I see. Okay.
So that was it. I didn't know if anybody had any questions. Like I said, we'll bring it up for y'all's recommendation for approval, you know, on Monday. But like I said, I hope those guys can agree. You know, we've got to move on and get this
Yeah.
done.
Well, let's just
Okay.
Monday. I guess it'll be Melissa Drive, huh?
Hey, Bob. Hey, I wanted to ask one thing. I got a bunch of talk this week on fire, Lake Harbor Road, Sunday morning, radio communications.
I was there.
What's the issue with the radios? Are we having problems with
Apparently,
radios?
the fire chief has an issue because there was a deputy about 6 feet away from him that didn't have any issue at all.
But do we have problems with our fire radios? Or is his radio bad?
Well, he complains a lot. We ran some tests last Friday, and the engineer and Marty went out and ran. We do know that there are some areas, both in Lake Harbor and in southwest Rankin, the Cleary southwest area, and I think maybe a bit of Lawrence that they've done the testing on, and they are currently trying to get a fix for it.
Got some little spots like a diamond.
And to give you an example, that area, that specific area, was tested by several engineers from Motorola, went out there, took them to the area that we had a fire ground death in Southwest. And I don't want to say it's an anomaly, but you could move within, if we did this, and I think some of the sheriff's folks were out there with us also, you can move 5 feet, have coverage. You can move 5 feet another way and not have coverage.
That makes sense.
So
It's that way at my house.
I don't know if there's a,
And I guess
know
my
there's
thing
a
is-
solution for that, but, you know,
I guess my number one question is, do we think we got radio problems out there in Lake Harbor? Do we need to be on the, is there anything we need to be doing for Motorola, or do you think we do not have radio problems out there?
or I don't know what else we can do. They've got their engineers working on it. They've tested, like I said, again Friday on the areas that we've had reports on. The main issue out there, we had a lot of reports of radios not working, and the main issue was the firemen had taken it upon themselves to alter the radios that were issued.
Yeah, I found that out too.
Up in Lake Harbor?
Yeah.
Well, and I guess, obviously we need to stop that, I agree with you, but we catch a fire out there right now.
Right.
Do they have comms or not, or is it?
Yeah.
They do.
Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, but then again, I mean, within a 5-foot area, there may be a dead spot. I mean, they know that there are dead spots out there. And what they're working on, the last recommendation as of yesterday afternoon, is looking at putting possibly a repeater in a fire truck. That may be the only alternative that we have.
What's the cost of that? What's the cost of that?
That's gonna be up to Motorola.
I mean, we don't have an estimate.
Well,
Okay.
my opinion, and like I said, the sheriff, we have meetings weekly talking about the issues. I mean, I could come in here every day and give you
I'm sure it's a long list of it.
6-page, issue that we're working on every day. But once problems are identified, we try to eliminate, that problem. And right now, and I don't know if we're not satisfied with the product we've got, so I'm not signing off on anything as far as completion goes. So
From Motorola's, what you're saying?
Correct. The work continues.
Okay.
So I don't have the technical ability to tell you that yes, hey, there's
But as long
100%
as,
guarantee.
as long as you've got a plan that
Yeah.
try to get some comms up for those guys. I mean, I know it's a frustrating thing.
Yeah.
You and I have been on scenes together. Can't talk to whatever. It's an extremely frustrating thing. And from the safety standpoint of those guys, I mean, we need to put our foot down on whoever we need to put down at Motorola to try to speed this process up. I don't want our fire guys or our law enforcement. I know there's several deputies that are running the spots where that they just get
And we've done the
caught
same
out
thing,
the
and
radio
the issue
side.
is we're trying to tie it in together is when we get a complaint, where it's not just a complaint, where you can tell me, hey, your radio was not working here, so we can go out to that area.
That's right.
And
Well, and
retest
I think that was my point from Monday night. I mean,
Yeah,
if
Monday night, I can tell you, 5-4, from where I'm standing, where Miss Laura's sitting over there, I can talk, she can't.
That's what I've been hearing.
And you
Inside or outside, either way, vice versa.
I mean,
Standing next to each other.
That's what they're trying to ask us right now.
And that's the only thing I want to encourage. If you can pass on to Motorola,
Yeah.
that this is a really, really important issue to me.
Yeah.
And I think to everybody
All of
else.
us, yeah.
I mean, to everybody. I mean,
Yeah.
we need those comms available when they need them.
We've all expressed, and I think the sheriff can back it up, we had a meeting last week, the week before. I mean, it's an ongoing, it's not like it's not being worked on. But that's, I guess that's the best answer I can give you. And,
As long as you keep it moving on it, because I mean, the exact scenarios that you're aware of and around the southwest area, be standing next to one another, one's getting it, one's not, in a building, out of a building, in a house, out of a house, or vice versa. I mean,
we've had
not like the house that created the problem.
The full spectrum, and we continue, to do the testing. And like I said, there's no.
I just want to place some emphasis on it to them.
Right.
The last thing I want to do is have one of our guys, whether it's law enforcement or fire, not be able to get out on comms and be in trouble. So.
There's, like I said, there's several issues that they're trying to work through, and I know, and like you said, I know you've been there. It is extremely aggravating, and it's also aggravating to try to fix it.
As long as you got a plan
When I can
moving
talk
moving
and
forward.
you can't, or you can talk and I can't, oh yeah, that's it's real aggravating that we're standing the distance between you and I. Something just ain't right. And
All right.
we also learned there's some duplication of radio IDs out there, and that is a big issue that has come up, and they're working on that also. So we've got several things working, and if just real quick, I just wanted to tell y'all that the Air Guard has approached Melissa and I about starting their own PSAP out at the Air Guard base, and I told them, Melissa and I met with them. I don't know how they're going to, I mean, of course, they said that they had the funding to do it, because I told them, I said, I don't think the board of supervisors is going to support taking on that kind of cost, but it's going to be real limited. They expressed their desire to do that, so that may be a forthcoming meeting that you guys, I just want to keep you guys aware of that. That may come up at some time in the future. But
thanks, Bob.
our opinion is no cost to the county. That's what Melissa and I conveyed to them, so.
All right, appreciate it. Just I'm glad to get a game plan.
Yeah.
All right, next, I'd like discussion of drainage. study?
Whoever can speak to that can start.
Yeah, I'll start the discussion on that. Buckingham subdivision on the north shore out the reservoir. Originally, when the development was put up, obviously there's not as many homes as it was as there is today. The acre lots or homes that they have out there are probably three acre groups.
Mhm.
As they built more houses, obviously the runoffs turned into a problem. I've got an area out there on two streets where they intersect, where the drainage is going into the lake. That, in my ignorant opinion, I don't believe the pipes are big enough because we can't get the water to the lake. That's one of the things I was hoping to talk with Buster on, maybe one of your hydro studies done, something in that area. I've got pictures here. I'm going to show each of you all of this. What we're supposed fixing to happen to us is we're fixing to wash those roads out. When that happens, we're going to have to come back and do some work on that. So let me show y'all some. These are the pictures coming over the road in Buckingham of the water flow. And you'll be able to see those.
When was this taken? Some of the big floods?
This spring.
Yeah,
This
some of the
spring.
monsoons, yeah.
And you can see that's.
Oh, I
that's the-
thought I was passing them down, I didn't know it. Okay, I'm sorry, my bad.
That's all right, and you'll see there on the pages. Well, these are new homes that are being built around this area, and we just got water coming completely over the road. So, again, I don't want to influx more. And all this is draining into the main lake there in Buckingham subdivision. But as you can see, we got some serious.
It looks pretty flat,
Yeah,
the area, kind of flat land.
kind of it is, yeah. And it's just not able to. I don't know the size of Mike, can you speak on? You know what size that culvert is? The pipe is there? Do you know off the top of your head? The 2-foot pipe. Okay, so obviously with the more developments and all coming around it, we've got tons of water flowing in this area that's not getting to the lake, and it's fixing to cause a little trouble with.
Well, Mr. Parker,
road.
you look at that, I mean, that's something
Yeah.
you could look at and evaluate, couldn't you?
Yes, sir, that's.
And I don't know this. Do we do a hydro study on that, or
Yes,
what do you?
we would need to do a study.
Here.
Let me explain.
Yeah, we had a lady that was out there. Our guys went out there looking at it, kind of marking off, checking the stuff. And one lady just was extremely upset, not wanting to increase the flow or not wanting to increase that pipe size. So from that point, Buster.
That's what I was fixing to say.
Yeah.
When you do these things, you need to get some.
Pull that mic down.
Can you hear me now?
Your name and address, please. No, go ahead.
I live in Newton County. You need to do a study. If you're going to increase the pipe, and what Daniel was saying, obviously you see all this water flow, you say, well, we need to put a larger pipe in. That makes common sense. The problem is sometimes you create an equal to or greater problem downstream, and that's
Right.
what he was referencing about the lady concerned or something like this. Those things happen, and the only thing to do that, and I think for the county's protection as well, to have some justification as to why you're going to go in and put in a larger pipe to address the issue, because there may be something else that you'll have to do downstream in conjunction with that.
Right.
Because one thing I do know for sure is that they're having problems, I think, in that area with that lake itself, on
Right.
the dam area on the back,
Right.
which is the homeowners are paying for all that kind of stuff, whatever. But the water's getting there anyway. This area, the intersection you're seeing right here, is probably about 250 yards from the main lake. So it's not
So
a
back
lot.
up from the lake could create some of that problem. It may not, lake may not take it.
I don't know. Yeah.
Yeah.
So I mean,
That's what we need to
and that's the kind of
determine.
thing
Right.
I'd like to have them be able to do that study. 'Cause
Who
if
put
not,
who put the culverts in? The development?
I would think the developer probably.
Yeah,
did
that
when
was probably
the original
Boo Baker.
started on it. Boo Baker did
Back when he did that
development
development.
side of it.
Yeah.
But
Is
since
there-
then, obviously turned over to us. And
Is there room for them to look at a retention pond between the lake and where
no,
this
it's
flooding
only-
is?
It's only about maybe 200 yards.
Oh.
It's really not that
Okay.
big.
Not much
So,
out there.
Well, that's something to look at. The lake can't take it. It's on
and that's
problem.
kind of why I was wanting to give
I get
Buster enough permission to go ahead and do that hydro study. And here comes a crazy question, but what's a hydro study cost? The crazy amounts of money?
Oh, yes, sir.
Absolutely.
Yes, sir. Hundreds
I
of
believe
thousands.
it. I believe it.
Yeah, it's an easy answer.
You're talking, I don't know, Tim, have you run any numbers on it?
I have it on this one, the
We're doing one right now in Woodlands. You know,
Yeah,
so-
the one thing that's different on this one, in looking at these pictures, is we're not really doing a study just to see if we can upsize a pipe. This is gonna require more than a pipe.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
I think, just looking at the pictures.
That's right.
You may have to, what Mr. Gaines alluded to, actually back up before this subdivision and look at potentially some detention.
Yeah.
Possibly, if there is an area. So, but, I mean, that's part, so the study should be just, can we upsize the pipe, which would basically be from the road to the pond and what's happening, or in this case, if that's not, you have to back up. So until we can actually go out there and assess the scope of it, it's hard to tell. I mean, that can be from a few $1,000s up to, 10 to 20,000, depending on how big that scope is.
I can't see how
I
culvert's
would-
gonna.
I don't, I
Big
think
culvert.
you gotta do more
They're
than a
so flat.
culvert.
Yeah.
I mean, a culvert
Yeah.
may be part of it, but
I
you,
mean, that
that's
ain't
not
a
gonna
cul-
change
that's
the
not
amount of
water
water.
there.
Yeah,
I agree.
and that's the
From
point
what
there
we've
was-
seen, just glancing with some discussion on this, that have to be more than just a cover.
Yeah.
'Cause there's a ton of water coming across that
Well,
jungle right there.
my first thought is the lake, the water's getting to the lake, but at a certain point, the lake can't take any more water.
Yeah, and that's what I say on the I guess it's the west side of that lake. They're having some dam issues as well. I know the homeowner association gone and fixed and try to patch some of that, but which is more the reason.
And it's
Yeah.
flat,
I
this
really
around
like
looks
to
pretty
get frustrated.
flat too.
Yeah.
That area is right there. Yeah.
The water can't move.
Right.
Okay, Buster, fix it.
Thank you, bud.
Yes, all y'all gotta do is
Yeah, so-
Well, would this
authorize-
require that study, or would it require, I mean, I'm just asking, is it a study needed, or is there a way to, any other suggestion from you to evaluate a
I
possibility?
think you gotta do that study.
Okay.
Because, more than likely, in looking at this, some type of detention is going to be needed somewhere.
Yeah.
Well, then my comment might be is evaluate where that detention might be, if it's gonna be private property or something that we're gonna have to do
Sure.
before we spend the money on the hydrology study. I mean, if it's that obvious that detention's got to play into it, then let's look at it and assess what we're gonna do about that first before we spend the money on hydrology, I would think.
I don't know that we don't want to put no attention.
They
That's what I'm
may,
talking about. That's
they
the
may have to
whole
do
point,
some
you know?
type of study
Yeah,
to
in my
determine
opinion, no,
where,
but-
or if there is a need for,
Yeah,
a
you need
detention.
to
Well, I mean, he
Because-
just made the comment, there's a strong indication now that a detention is probably gonna be needed.
But he don't know where
No,
or how big. or-
exactly.
I mean, listen to it.
It's
Without-
virtually impossible to tell you what needs to be done until the
Chicken and
study's
egg.
done. And, that's the only way I know how to answer it.
math.
Sure, it looks like detention probably needed, but the study's gonna
Yeah.
determine if that's what is needed and where that detention needs to be.
Well,
Well-
and the only difference is it's fixing to wash our road.
If it's
Well,
tearing
there's
this
one
road
thing-
up,
There's one, that now, the one that we did in Arcadia, they paid for the hydraulic study.
That's correct.
The
If I
homeowners
may
did.
just interject, we think that under Buster's current arrangement with the county, there is authority for him to conduct some sort of scope, a study that would
Yes.
allow for the presentation to the board of a scope of work, which would include a continued evaluation of the drainage improvements that may or may not be needed. So I think just from the standpoint of addressing what's before you now, we're wanting to make sure, Daniel obviously is wanting to make sure the board is fully aware of what the problem is, and that we feel like it's important for Mr. Buster to get involved. We believe that his current arrangement with the county allows for him to do what you guys are wanting him to do, which is to let you know what you're fixing to be in for.
okay.
So you don't
So-
need a motion to do anything like that. He just,
No, we just need we need you guys to give a general direction to Buster. Please proceed under your current contract to perform and provide a scope of work that will be necessary to
Yeah.
address this problem.
I'm good with that.
I'm good.
Because, like I said, the Arcadia, actually homeowners came in and paid for
Well,
that.
we may, after we see what we're looking at, we may ask them to pay
And
the
it may-
bill or half the bill. or- But
At
if,
least we know.
exactly right.
if
Okay.
a study costs, let's just say 10, 15,000, and that versus going in here and having to rework this road, we can't move up there and do it for less than 10,000. So, I mean, I think
No,
the
this
study's
is what we
necessary.
need to do.
Yeah.
This is the route we need to go, I think.
Yeah, because I don't know.
And
I don't know what they're
the
gonna
answer's
find.
gonna be, right.
So that's right.
Okay.
We don't know.
All right, well, I'm okay with that.
Yeah. All right, the next one here on part C right here is the Hidden Hills issue, and I know we've got sinkholes and all everywhere. But I'm gonna slide these little photographs down here to you, and I'm gonna let Craig hop in here and kind of clean my bad
Daniel and I,
word up.
Somebody buried there.
That we could all stand in there and hold hands and sing Kumbaya, I think. But
Yeah.
basically, if
Yeah,
you look at that second picture, you'll see the kind of tie-in we're making of this. What you've got is our storm drain off our road, and directly behind this is the famous Mill Creek we've heard so much about. All this water's going into that area, or into a retention pond, I think, back in that back area, Craig.
that's right.
But what's happened is we've got failure, we believe, right here in this storm drain tied on the road. Went down in the last picture you're going to see on this thing, looks like just a piece of chocolate candy, but that's inside the pipe where the pipes failed, the culvert.
Yeah.
So what's
Which
happened
culvert
is,
is this?
that's the culvert.
I mean, which
Yeah.
one picture? This
This
inside
is
here?
no, this is inside the one touching the road,
Okay.
directly off the road. Actually, this is probably 15 to 20 feet off the actual roadway. Your first picture, here. And it's deep, large. I mean, I think there's a song about that, isn't it? Wide and deep, large.
Deep, wide, deep.
Yeah, that's what this is.
It's a would-be pool.
And again, our main concern is the tie-in to the roadway. I mean, we've got this issue in several areas that's at the reservoir, but it's not. We can't find where it directly ties into the roadway or storm drain. This issue here directly ties into the roadway or storm drain. So, Craig, I'm gonna let you expand on the legal side of this thing.
This one is unique.
Makes it different.
We don't have a lot of unique sinkhole situations, as you guys fully aware. We get them all over the place. What makes this one unique is that the collapse event is actually in the road right-of-way. So that fourth picture that you see there, although it's difficult to see exactly what you're looking at there, what that depicts is a collapsing of the actual storm drain pipe at the site of the storm drain in the road. In other words, it's collapsing on itself. And what the second picture shows is that's probably the best picture, although in person it's much more pronounced than it appears to be in these photos. The sidewalk is actually collapsing. I mean, it is a pronounced dip at the sidewalk.
Could be a new skateboard park. You know?
It's well on its way, Bob. And of course, you've got a really incredible aspect of that park developing in that gentleman's yard there, as in disappearing.
Craig, where the pipe is failing right on our right of way, how far is it to that sinkhole?
Probably 20 feet.
So, do you think it's the same failure, or do you think there's another one, like the pipe has collapsed or come apart?
These are attenuated problems. These are problems associated with the same pipe.
Here.
That run of pipe or those runs of pipe have deteriorated to a point where they are collapsing on themselves. In fact, at the point where this hole is, there is no pipe. You can't see.
There's a pipe running up through here, though.
That's where that would be the direction of travel. Yes, sir. It goes right between those houses. There is no pipe, and it's what, Daniel? 7 feet deep, probably.
At least.
What size pipe?
It just disappeared. It
6 foot
disintegrated
pipe?
into nothing.
Drainage. What size drainage pipe is
There's
it?
no pipe. I couldn't tell you because it's.
You get down there and look. You were there.
He had them $high shoes on.
You should have seen my shoes.
Yeah. Look, these attorneys wear these expensive shoes that firemen don't get. But I mean, these things are patent leather, Italian. And he had those on out there at the scene. I said, Craig, for goodness sake, he's going to expense it. So I didn't want him to get down in that hole.
Little does he know.
I can tell you.
My wife wouldn't let me come in the house.
All those lawyers buy their shoes at the Dead Man store in Oxford. You get some really nice shoes. $25 a pair.
These were impressive, I asked him what size he wanted. I was going to borrow a pair, but he didn't. Not saying.
Mr. Parker, you looked at this. Mr. Parker, you looked at it.
This is another situation, Bob, to address the question. We need, before we give Buster a heave ho, we need you guys to understand why we're asking for I think at this point, what needs to happen is the engineers need to do a takeoff on what this is. I suspect that this is going to end up being a bid project to address. That's what I think. That's my guess.
Well, the
I
thing you don't know how, I'm curious to how far it's gonna.
Precisely.
Nobody knows.
We need another scope of work.
Right.
And so we need you guys to be comfortable with Buster taking on this responsibility under his contract so that we can come back and present to you guys how we're going to address our road right-of-way problem here.
Yep.
I want it to be clear so that it's on the record. This is
Yeah,
unique.
this one is a
This
little
is
different.
in the road right-of-way.
This is
a
similar
collapse.
actually to the one we had to do a few years ago.
This is a
So it's
collapse.
collapsing all the way down through into the.
My suggestion might be is that once, if we move forward and we start excavating, you take pictures as we excavate.
Yes, sir.
So, and put that into the minutes, so if anybody ever questions why we did this particular project, you can
Well,
demonstrate.
at the time that Mr. Parker provides you guys with the scope and we kind of know what we're dealing with, you'll be asked to make specific findings, Bob, about how this is attenuated to a public improvement project. Okay? And we'll make those findings at that time.
Pictures.
Yep. Step one is you need to know from your engineer what your cost is, what you're looking at.
I say let's
Move forward. I agree.
Yep.
Hey, and the only thing I would just ask Mr. Buster is kind of put this maybe on the front burner of a lot of stuff. That these people's houses, I mean, we don't know what kind of is going on underneath that grass, you know. So
I'm sure they will.
thank you, though.
Yeah.
Thank you.
All right.
We do have need for executive session today, personnel and litigation.
You got
Make
it,
a
kid.
motion, go into
All right, make,
whatever it is.
motion made, Mr. Morris, need to go to executive session.
Second.
Second, Mr. Gaines. All fair say aye.
Aye.
All opposed?
It's all around.
Everyone
I
clear the
was
building.
up there yesterday going somewhere, and yeah, all those three corners are neat manicured. I say neat manicured, but I mean cut, and it looks like
Hey, Brian.
We deal with that lady.
How you doing, man?
Regular, that on the corner, actual corner.
Anything,
I call them over
anything
there.
on
And,
that dude,
be
that
aware
lady down in
the site has
Triangle
it.
Acres?
Otherwise, they won't cook. Those people can't see. Bye.
Yes, sir, bring it on, more the merrier, baby. Believe me.
Well, you know, the good news is the cars actually hide the jumps, you know? You know, when I ride by, I just kind of say, well.
Oh, right.
No, just don't.
You don't need to.
Any day you need good custom, you stop there, we're doing.
And the pond.
I've heard, that's where you get.
Gotta shoot the heads off.
That's right.
Yeah, I know that they did. I know they did I'll get with him on that. Okay, I will definitely get with him on that.
8 months ago, my turn. I started last thing.
No, man, I wouldn't burn his dirt. Yeah. Yeah, I guess you could refer it to that. I'm good with that. They call me Turtle. Snap ahead. Nah. Back hard. Back hard. Hey, I told him, I said, Buster, I said, the scope of work, if there's no culvert, get culvert. Add dirt. I said, I got it. That'll be $20,000. Oh, man.
It's not got something for us. The first 3 or 4 days. Usually guys are saying put a phone across the street. Get some yeah, we did.
Anyway.
Pictures of that.
He also
Just saying. Just saying.
Through it, and he said, yeah, he did through it because she was getting upset, but they were so
I dropped
gracious.
check.
Anyway, he still
Yesterday I saw some of your fathers, right?
trouble, so.
With my own eyes. Yeah. Take a picture of your kid in that storm drain. It's a hazard.
I know you stay so busy.
Can't you
so
tell?
send me something.
Miss Ostry. I love Miss Ostry. Tell him as he's working with all the information, new information at the MAS, tell him get your name right. My medication's been doing great.
You want like the ads and stuff like that?
No. All right.
I'm going to give y'all a quick update on a couple of litigation matters, and Ms. Laura, I think, has some personnel matter to discuss me, so
All right.
that would be the day.
Okay.
I'll make that motion.
Let's roll.
Make a motion to go executive session. Mr. Morrow, second. Mr. Gaines, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Okay. Soon as the